The GMA Morning Mix, all the week's hot topics, the healthcare summit, what should happen to Tillikum, the killer whale, plus the Olympics. Here to talk about it all, Cokie Roberts and Republican strategist Torie Clarke. And let's begin with the healthcare summit. I know I'm a bit of a wonk, Cokie, but I thought it was actually pretty good. 7 hours of serious talk.
But we are all geeks. I mean, you just have to go with that. It's, you know, let your inner geek show. But it was interesting. It was, they did each have to prove that he, in most cases, was the smartest boy in the room.
The president, right.
Well, and all of them, you know, I know Section 4013 of the bill, and I know this one, and I, you know, but they did, I mean, no minds were changed, and nothing different is going to happen as a result of it, but it was a serious conversation, and they clearly do know what they're talking about.
And Torie, you used to work for Senator John McCain, and he laid out his points today very well, but it is very clear that he and the president are just never going to get along.
It's hard to describe the tension.
Right.
And you're kind of watching that unfold, and I'm going to separate myself from you two. I did not watch the full 7 hours. Shocking. I barely made it to the lunch break, and I said, oh, thank God. He just could, it's the competitor in McCain. He just couldn't help himself, and you saw it coming. You're thinking, no, all these others are trying to be statesmanlike, and here he goes. And it was the sparks. I thought it was one of the few interesting theatrical moments of the event.
And the president responded immediately.
He had an election. Right back.
I won.
How about on the Democratic side, Cokie? Now it's clear the Democrats have to try to pass this alone. I don't see the votes there.
Well, they're going to have a very tough time counting the votes. But I think that they just have to be convinced that it's better to do something than to do nothing. And that's the only argument. That is the it's not any more complicated than that.
But isn't that a tough toss-up for them?
Yes.
The bad news is we can't get this thing passed. The bad news is we might get something passed, and then we have to defend it from now until November?
But they have to think in the long term, and they're convinced in the long term it would be popular, and I think they're right about that. But it's going to be a tough November.
And Republicans pay any price for saying no?
Not much. It doesn't sound like. It sounds like they're doing pretty well back home, saying, no, we're not going to let these people do these big, bad government-like things.
But they do seem to be a little nervous about doing nothing, which I think explains the jobs bill this week.
And also talking about a step-by-step approach.
Right.
Let's talk about this tragedy down at SeaWorld in Florida. Tillikum, the whale, kills that trainer. Although you heard on our program this morning the other trainer saying, well, it was really the trainer's fault. Perhaps. I know SeaWorld is having a press conference later on today. I cannot believe, Cokie, they're going to allow this whale to continue to perform.
I can't either. And obviously they just feel that whale is too valuable to let go. But, you know, these big animals, I love going to these shows. I mean, I'll just say it. You know, I like taking kids. I like going. But these great, big, wild animals, you know, that's what they are. And it's a killer whale. He has killed twice before. And, you know, let the whale go. I'm not saying kill the whale. I'm saying let the whale go, because he's going to do it again. And the notion of blaming her ponytail, I mean, that's like blaming somebody for wearing a short skirt when she gets raped, you know?
I'm with you. I love watching these shows. I was down there with my family last year. We probably saw this whale. I thought it was amazing. And I found myself at the end of the show going, it looks like they really enjoy it. Clearly not. But once every few years, we're reminded of the fact these are wild creatures. The guy with the grizzly bear, Siegfried and Roy, and no matter how domesticated they may look and how well-behaved they may be, every once in a while, one of them goes, this is my nature. This is what I'm going to do.
And I know Tillikum is a profit center for SeaWorld, but I can't believe, I mean, this is corporate communications 101.
Profit center breeding other Tillikums,
well,
evidently is very important.
That's fine, too. Let them go breed some other little whales. But the idea of putting them in a body of water with a human being ever again is just shocking.
Okay, the Olympics. Pretty amazing 2 weeks for the Americans, and then who could forget Kim Yuna last night? A stellar performance.
The pressure on her little shoulders.
Boy, she's a rock star. She is such a rock star.
I mean, you know, all of us had to stay up way too late to see it, but it was just spectacular. I mean, the athleticism of these women, as well as their style and grace, was just unbelievable.
Also saw a lot of athleticism from the Canadian women's hockey team. They won the gold yesterday, and then I think we have some stills of them celebrating as well. Some cigars on the ice, a little bit of Canadian champagne. I don't know what that tastes like.
That was my reaction, right?
And here we go, Torie. The International Olympic Committee is investigating.
And that is crazy. Now, my family and I, clearly we travel a lot. We were up there for a few days. It was spectacular. Canadian people, amazing. But you have to be there to understand how important hockey, more than any other events, how important those are to the Canadians. So the pressure on the shoulders of those young women, pretty amazing. They clearly are phenomenal athletes. They put up with a lot of this pressure. They win. They should be allowed to celebrate. And Rogue and the IOC...
I love looking at it.
I know. Rogue and the IOC don't make anything of the Russian skater acting horribly when he doesn't win the gold. Poor sportsmanship, acting out, not a word to him, but chastising these incredible women and their huge accomplishments.
And come on, lighten up. Right. You know, you're allowed to have a celebration after you won the gold.
Right.
And, you know, I just don't get it. I mean, the notion that you would in any way punish these terrific girls is just nuts.
And we'll see. We have the U.S. men's hockey team still in contention for a gold as well. It's been a terrific Olympics for the U.S.
You know, the president should have gone up there and said USA all the way. I think it would have helped him.
I was saying to Cokie, several people, the Canadian people, again, you can't imagine how nice they are, and they're talking to you, and where are you from? You're from Washington. Is President Obama coming? And they knew the vice president was there.
I think he's been a little burned by the Olympics this year after trying to get it for Chicago. Torie Clarke, Cokie Roberts, thank you both very much.